Sound therapy for autism and ADHD, does it work? Welcome to our video. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of sound therapy and its potential benefits for individuals with autism and ADHD. In recent years, sound therapy has gained attention as an alternative approach for tackling challenges related to sensory processing, focus, and emotional regulation. But is it genuinely effective, or just another overhyped trend? Stay tuned as we explore the science, stories, and practicalities behind sound therapy for autism and ADHD, helping you decide if it's worth considering. Let's start with the basics. Sound therapy refers to a range of techniques that use sound, whether it's music, tones, frequencies, or rhythms, to influence the mind and body. The underlying idea is that sound can help regulate the brain's activity, promoting focus, relaxation, or emotional balance. Although the methods vary, the goal remains the same: to use sound as a therapeutic tool to manage specific challenges. Popular sound therapy techniques include binaural beats. Two tones of slightly different frequencies are played in each ear, creating a perceived third tone that's believed to influence brain activity. Music therapy. Guided interaction, using music's rhythm and melody to stimulate emotions and improve behavior. Auditory integration therapy. A technique aimed at improving how the brain processes sounds, typically by exposing individuals to specific frequencies over time. Sound therapy is marketed as being particularly beneficial for individuals with neurodevelopmental conditions like autism and ADHD. But why? To answer that, let's explore how these conditions interact with sensory processing and cognitive challenges. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, encompasses a broad range of characteristics, but sensory sensitivities are a prevalent feature. Many individuals with autism may experience hyperreactivity or hyporeactivity to sensory input, especially sound. For example, loud noises might feel overwhelming, while certain repetitive sounds might provide comfort. Proponents of sound therapy claim that it can help regulate these sensory sensitivities. Here's how. Auditory stimulation. Techniques like rhythmic drumming or filtered frequencies aim to desensitize individuals to certain sounds. Relaxation methods. Music or calming tones are used to reduce anxiety or overstimulation, common experiences for those with autism. Real-life examples reinforce some of these claims. Families and caregivers have reported improvements like better tolerance for chaotic or loud environments, improved sleep patterns after sessions using soothing tones, reduced instances of meltdowns triggered by sound-related sensory issues. One popular approach is Tomatis therapy, which uses modified soundtracks tailored specifically to the individual's sensory profile. Advocates report success with attention, communication, and sensory regulation. However, is this evidence anecdotal, or is there science to back it up? For individuals with ADHD, sound therapy promises to address the core challenges of concentration, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. The idea is rooted in sound's ability to influence brainwave patterns. Binaural beats, for example, claim to produce specific frequencies in the brain that encourage focus. By listening to these beats, individuals with ADHD might find it easier to stay on task. Similarly, music therapy can offer a structured outlet, using rhythm and pacing to boost productivity and control impulsive behavior. Parents of children with ADHD have shared notable stories. Some report that rhythmic drumming exercises improve their children's ability to follow instructions or stay focused on tasks. Others highlight how classical music, known for its calming qualities, helped reduce hyperactivity and emotional dysregulation. Despite these hopeful accounts, not all experiences are positive. Some families find minimal changes in symptoms or even increased overstimulation. It's important to remember that ADHD exists on a spectrum, and what works for one individual might not yield the same benefits for another. The claims surrounding sound therapy are undeniably intriguing, but does the research support its effectiveness for autism and ADHD? The answer is a mix of promise and limitations. Several small-scale studies have noted that sound therapy can improve sensory processing, focus, and emotional regulation in children with autism and ADHD. For example, research on auditory integration therapy found potential benefits in reducing auditory hypersensitivities for individuals on the autism spectrum. Music therapy, particularly rhythm-based interventions, has been linked to improvements in attention regulation and executive functioning for individuals with ADHD. Other research remains skeptical, noting that the evidence for sound therapy success is inconsistent. Some studies argue that improvements in behavior might simply be due to placebo effects or the natural progression of development over time. Additionally, a lack of long-term, large-scale studies in this field leaves many unanswered questions. What works in a controlled laboratory environment may not translate to meaningful, lasting results in real-world situations. One reason for these discrepancies lies in the uniqueness of the individuals involved. Autism and ADHD manifest differently in each person, and so does their response to sound-based interventions. Another reason might be the absence of standardized protocols in sound therapy. What works is often subjective and difficult to replicate consistently. To better understand the potential of sound therapy, let's turn to what professionals in the field have to say. Some occupational therapists and neurologists view sound therapy as a complementary tool. They highlight how sound can be a non-invasive method to promote relaxation and focus, particularly when paired with other evidence-based treatments. For example, pairing music therapy with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, has shown promising results in some studies. Conversely, skeptics caution against viewing sound therapy as a cure-all. Critics argue that, without strong scientific backing, sound therapy should be considered an optional supplement rather than a primary treatment method. They urge families to consult specialists instead of relying solely on unproven methods that may delay access to established interventions. Beyond the research and expert views, personal experiences often carry the greatest weight for those considering sound therapy. Here, we share some real-life accounts. For Sarah, the mother of a 10-year-old boy with autism, sound therapy proved to be life-changing. After just a few months of auditory integration therapy, her son showed remarkable improvement in handling loud environments, which had previously triggered sensory meltdowns. It hasn't solved everything, she explains, but it's definitely an important piece of our puzzle. Another example comes from Rachel, an adult with ADHD who uses binaural beats during her workday. For her, the technique is a game changer for staying focused. If I pop on my headphones, it's easier to tune out distractions and get into the zone, she shares. However, not every story ends positively. Mark struggled to find noticeable changes for his 8-year-old daughter who has ADHD. He recalls feeling frustrated after spending significant time and money on sound therapy sessions that promised more than they delivered. It just wasn't the miracle fix we were hoping for, he says. These anecdotes illustrate a key takeaway. Sound therapy can be beneficial for some, but it's not a guaranteed solution. If you're curious about trying sound therapy, here are a few practical questions to consider. Sound therapy is generally safe when used appropriately, though some individuals with severe sensory sensitivities might find certain techniques overwhelming. It's important to tailor the approach to accommodate your or your child's comfort level. While some forms of sound therapy, like using music playlists or apps, are easily accessible and affordable, others, like auditory integration therapy, can be costly and require trained professionals. Before committing, it's wise to weigh the potential benefits against time and financial costs. If you decide to proceed, research is key. Work with a credentialed practitioner and avoid methods that lack transparency or scientific support. Consulting with a healthcare professional, such as a pediatrician or therapist, can also help ensure that sound therapy complements other treatment plans. So, what's the verdict? Does sound therapy work for autism and ADHD? The answer isn't a straightforward yes or no. Sound therapy holds promise and has shown notable benefits for some individuals. For others, however, its impact is minimal or inconclusive. The key lies in individual needs, preferences, and responses. If you're considering sound therapy, approach it as a potential supplement to existing treatments, not a replacement. Stay informed, seek expert advice, and remember that there's no one-size-fits-all solution for managing autism and ADHD. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights. We'd love to hear your experiences or thoughts about sound therapy. Share them in the comments below. Together, let's keep learning, experimenting, and supporting each other on this journey. See you in the next video.